The extraordinary ebbs and flows of Test match cricket continued at the National Stadium in Karachi on day 3. It started with a bit of history as South Africa's champion fast bowler Kagiso Rabada became the 4th youngest to 200 wickets.
200 wickets for Rabada. What a performance, what a bowler.
But a dynamic final wicket partnership of 55 of just 64 balls gave Pakistan a vital lead of 158 to take into the second half of this absorbing contest.
That's travelled all the way for 6. Yasir Shah.
Dean Elgar survived a few body blows before succumbing eventually to Yasir Shah.
Elgar walks off, Yasir Shah has the first breakthrough.
Then came some heroic resistance from Aiden Markram and Rossi Vendedusen with a partnership of 127. Almost inevitably though, it was Yasir Shah who engineered the breakthrough. And as dusk fell, so too did Markram and Faf du Plessis as the Proteas ended the day with a lead of just 29 with 6 wickets in hand. The pendulum has swung firmly back the way of the home team. But where will it be by the end of today?
Hello and welcome from National Stadium, Karachi. We're here for yet another enthralling contest. It's day 4 of the test match between Pakistan and South Africa. Yeah, the sun is out once again in Karachi and there's plenty to look forward to. But this is how things stand at this point of time. South Africa are 187 for 4. Top scorer Markram with that 74. But essentially they are leading by 29 runs. Yeah, it's a great day out here and like I said, you know, plenty to look forward to. Pakistan, of course, they gained momentum in that last session, taking a couple of wickets. South Africa had that 127 runs partnership. So yeah, what we can look forward to is a great contest. And I'm in the glorious company of Wasim Akram and Daryl Cullinan. Whereas Pakistan can take a lot of heart from the way they performed in that last session yesterday.
Yeah, they actually can. Credit to Pakistan team. There was a big partnership, like you just mentioned, between Vendedusen and Markram. The shoulders were down at one stage, but they got 1 wicket and then they attacked. Typical in typical Pakistani style, you know. So it was good to see. South Africa only 29 runs ahead. I think Pakistan will come out with the mindset, okay, we're not going to give unnecessary runs away. We're going to attack from one end and maybe defend from the other end. Obviously, Yasir being an attacking bowler, the way he bowled yesterday, he bowled 19 over spell. That was, in my opinion, it was a bit too much to give up your strike bowler. Strike bowler should come in short burst. And if he's a spinner, maybe 7 over spell, 8 over, at the most 9, but 19 over spell, it can finish the bowler for the whole day. But not Yasir, obviously.
Yeah, well, he's known for bowling long spells. That's what leg spinners are essentially there for in Test cricket. But Daryl, South Africa, at one point, it seemed like they've taken the game away from Pakistan. And like Waz was pointing out, the body language was kind of down. And then those 2 quick wickets in the end, you know, they've just changed the momentum towards Pakistan.
They were so close. They were so close going to the close of play. This morning, they would have been on the front foot. But credit to Pakistan. I thought there were 1 or 2 deliveries which were too good for the South African batsmen. Probably for any batsman. So they've got a lot of hard work to do this morning.
I'll tell you who else has been doing a lot of hard work. It's Kagiso Rabada. I mean, speaking of personal milestones, his 200th test wicket, and that too, he's the 4th quickest to get to that, Daryl.
Well, South Africa through the years have been blessed with great fast bowlers. Donald, you had Pollock, you had Ntini, you had Steyn, and they desperately needed someone new to come along and come along quickly. So I hope that he goes on to inspire many young fast bowlers.
Speaking of inspiration from fast bowlers, you've got one right next to you. You know, strike rates, it's one of the things that's spoken about a fast bowler. You had a fantastic one. And now Kagiso Rabada, Waz, if you look at that, he's sitting right at the top with an average of 22 and a strike rate of 40.
But look at the list he's in now. Dale Steyn, Waqar Younis, Malcolm Marshall, one of the greatest of all time, Alan Donald, Mitchell Starc, Fred Truman, all Jules Garner, one of my favorites as well, Fellender, and of course the great Sir Richard Hadley. So that shows this guy is something special. I remember seeing him when he burst into the international scene about 5-6 years ago maybe.
Yes.
And I liked the straight away I liked his action, high arm action, good pace, and then of course over the years he mastered the reverse swing art as well. He bowled the best day before with the reverse swing delivery, so he's only going to improve as a bowler. He's only 25 to 100 wickets. It's a huge deal for any bowler, let it be spinner or a fast bowler, but getting 200 test wickets, and that too in a very short amount of time, 44 test matches. It's a massive deal for him. Good luck to him, and I think in future the world batsmen should be worried that he's only going to get quicker as well.
But at what stage do those chronic injuries set in and you start to feel it? Perhaps the hunger is not quite what it used to be?
You see, being a fast bowler, there'll be niggles every day. When you wake up after your spell, you'll have a sore back, you'll have sore knees. There will be niggles, but chronic injury, it depends how you look after yourself. That's very important.
Well, some really good insight and points about fast bowling there. And thank you so much for your time. But there's a lot to look forward to. We'll be taking a short breather. When we are back, we'll be looking at another great bowler, Yasir Shah. So don't go anywhere. riveting contest awaits us here on day 4 of the test match between Pakistan and South Africa. Bajat Khan and Ramiz Raja have joined me. Baz, what did you make of Pakistan's day yesterday?
Well, it ended pretty well. We was almost thinking that South Africa will go into close of play ahead or pretty satisfied. But the last half an hour or so, the spinners came in, short legs, limit off, everything in, and I think now they'll be sitting comfortably.
It's going to get even more interesting for spinners. Rambo, Yasir Shah, over 200 wickets. We've seen what he can do. He's a magician with the ball on these kinds of wickets as well. And yesterday as well, he showed us a glimpse of what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, he's a star act on a surface like this because he'll get the ball to spin. He's got different variations. He bowls splendidly well from round the stumps. And this pitch is tailor-made for him. All he has to do is to now be not bothered by the eventual success, because there'll be a lot of pressure on him once again. He just needs to just continue bowling the way he's done. And he bowled a superb over to Faf du Plessis. Look at the spin that he got, and I think that got him confused. He was stuck on the crease and finally did him with a straighter one that fizzed through off the surface. So, I mean, he knows the angles, he knows he's done it before for Pakistan, he knows how to handle pressure as well, and his record is phenomenal. So many wickets in subcontinent conditions. He knows the game here. This is his territory.
I mean, Baz, even when we talk about strike rates, we often talk about pace bowlers, but for a spinner as well, he's right up there.
Yeah, UAE, he's dominant in UAE and now over here as well. Even in the first innings, you look at that first innings, it's all about Yasir Shah getting those vital breakthroughs, and all-time great leg spinners. He's high up on the list, so what more can you say about that?
I think the interesting part today, Rambo, is going to be the new ball factor, because it's due in 5 overs. Do you think Pakistan will take it, or tricky decision?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. So whether you'd want to run the show with the old ball and delay the second new ball, I would probably take it and then you can involve a leg spinner or a spinner with a new ball with proud seam, hardness of the ball, may just help them to get the extra bit of bounce. On the other hand, they've got to look at the reverse swing part of the deal as well. So maybe delayed for 2-3 overs, not more than that. But that is a question that will be prime in the minds.
Well, let's find out what the pitch is saying. Mike Hazeman has all the information.
We've got day 4 of the test match. Now, let me just tell you about this surface. It's played an interesting role so far, and what a test match we've had. What I've done here is I've got a couple of markers which are around about 7.5, maybe about 8 metre mark, 8 metre, 7.5 to the base of the stump. That's the important area I'm looking at now. And I've got some work from Hawkeye here, just to have a look at some variable bounce. Now, this is the area with the new ball. Now, the new ball is just around the corner. 5 overs to go before the second new ball is going to be bowled. And this is the variable bounce that the batsmen are going to have to cope with. The hard ball, the hard new ball does the damage. And if we have a look also at a pitch map, you'll see that there are red balls and there are blue balls. Now, the blue balls are the ones that are a little bit shorter. They're the ones that are going, a bit fuller. They're the ones that are bouncing below the stumps. The red balls are the ones that are going above the stumps. But I'm just going to pulse the balls now of the ones that were the variable bounce deliveries. Okay, so this is really important because there's a real opportunity for these Pakistan bowlers to get involved when they do get that second new ball. And I'm just going to highlight a couple of areas. I've got my pen down here. There's a crack, a couple of cracks around the place that has crumbled. Therefore, some variable bounce. There's another one there. They're all over the place, really. Nothing wrong with the surface. That happens. That's test match. Let's go down here now and have a look where Yasir Shah is bowling. I've got a 1 square foot of foam here. This is his target, just to give you an idea. That's how big the target is, and that is the ideal situation for a left-handed batsman such as de Kock and also George Linder, right? So you've got areas there for the spinners and you've got areas there for the new ball. I've got a magic number for you, another 150 runs today. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, judging by how things are looking out there, Baz, I mean, Quinton de Kock, his role is going to be even more important. But that second innings average, I think he'd want to look to improve that, because it suddenly goes down to 28.
Yeah, definitely. And the way that he plays, I think he'll be slightly tougher here because ball's not coming onto the bat, but he's the only hope really, because he can get on with the game, get a few quick runs and put the pressure back. But if he doesn't fire, I think South Africa will have it really tough. Just on that picture about, I love the way that Haseman strides with his walking stick going around the pitch.
At his age, he probably needs one.
Yeah, quickly, Rambo, your thoughts on how Pakistan should proceed in terms of their bowling plans today?
Patience, and also I thought they worked a very good game plan when nothing much was happening, when that partnership was working for South Africa between Van der Dussen and Markram. So more of the same, and they'll eventually get the result. Don't be impatient.
Don't be impatient. Patience is the name of the game. Thank you so much for your thoughts, gentlemen. It's going to be a great day ahead. A beautiful sunny day. The sun is out. And lots to look forward to between Pakistan and South Africa. We'll be taking a short breather. When we do come back, we'll be taking you here for all the live action. So please don't go anywhere, and see you just in a bit.
The extraordinary ebbs and flows of Test match cricket continued at the National Stadium in Karachi on day 3. It started with a bit of history as South Africa's champion fast bowler Kagiso Rabada became the 4th youngest to 200 wickets.
200 wickets for Rabada. What a performance, what a bowler.
But a dynamic final wicket partnership of 55 of just 64 balls gave Pakistan a vital lead of 158 to take into the second half of this absorbing contest.
That's travelled all the way for 6. Yasir Shah.
Dean Elgar survived a few body blows before succumbing eventually to Yasir Shah.
Elgar walks off. Yasir Shah has the first breakthrough.
Then came some heroic resistance from Aiden Markram and Rossi van der Dusen with a partnership of 127. Almost inevitably though, it was Yasir Shah who engineered the breakthrough. And as dusk fell, so too did Markram and Faf du Plessis as the Proteas ended the day with a lead of just 29 with 6 wickets in hand. The pendulum has swung firmly back the way of the home team, but where will it be by the end of today?
What a terrific test match this is turning out to be. Pakistan versus South Africa. Live action from National Stadium, Karachi. Day 4. Lot to look forward to. State of the pitch, how South Africa will see off the challenge of Pakistan spin bowling. They're 29 for the loss of 4. Group photograph of Pakistan cricket team. Plenty of extra players are needed these days because of COVID-19 situation. They've been in a bubble. So far, this is what has happened. South Africa 220, Pakistan got out of jail through Fawad Alam and rest of the tail-enders, 378 all out, and South Africa were going swimmingly well until the last 20-25 minutes yesterday. 187 for the loss of 4 now, and they lead by just 29, so effectively 29 for the loss of 4. Markram was the star for them. He batted beautifully and showed a lot of guts. His technique was good, and he had to prove a point as well because his numbers in subcontinent aren't great. So he had to really come to grips with the statistical sort of damage and get over it. And he did with some wonderful batting. Markram with 74 and the Dusen on 64 when he got out. Yasir Shah was the wrecker-in-chief. Maharaj is the night watchman. Now a lot depends on how Quinton de Kock bats here. Should he just be his natural self or dig deep and try to get a partnership rolling? Shaheen, no wicket for him. Hassan Ali didn't pick up a wicket. Yasir Shah was outstanding. 3 for 53 and 1 wicket for Noman. We'll take a short little break here and come back with live action. Action about to begin here. Pakistan limbering up. And what about day 4 pitch? Well, Mike Hazeman was out there early on to dissect the pitch for us.
We've got day 4 of the test match. Now, let me just tell you about this surface. It's played an interesting role so far and what a test match we've had. What I've done here is I've got a couple of markers which are around about 7.5, maybe about 8 metre mark, 8 metre, 7.5 to the base of the stump. That's the important area I'm looking at now. And I've got some work from Hawkeye here just to have a look at some variable bounce. Now, this is the area with the new ball. Now, the new ball is just around the corner. 5 overs to go before the second new ball is going to be bowled. And this is the variable bounce that the batsmen are going to have to cope with. The hard ball, the hard new ball does the damage. And if we have a look also at a pitch map, you'll see that there are red balls and there are blue balls. Now, the blue balls are the ones that are a little bit shorter. They're the ones that are going, a bit fuller. They're the ones that are bouncing below the stumps. The red balls are the ones that are going above the stumps. But I'm just going to pulse the balls now for the ones that were the variable bounce deliveries. Okay, so this is really important because there's a real opportunity for these Pakistan bowlers to get involved when they do get that second new ball. And I'm just going to highlight a couple of areas. I've got my pen down here. There's a crack, a couple of cracks around the place that has crumbled. Therefore, some variable bounce. There's another one there. They're all over the place, really. Nothing wrong with the surface. That happens. That's test match. Let's go down here now and have a look where Yasir Shah is bowling. I've got a 1 square foot of foam here. This is his target, just to give you an idea. That's how big the target is, and that is the ideal situation for a left-handed batsman such as de Kock and also George Linder. Right? So you've got areas there for the spinners, and you've got areas there for the new ball. I've got a magic number for you, another 150 runs today. That's going to be interesting.
Yes, from South African point of view, 150 more will really help them develop a good, strong theme here moving forward in this game. But right now, all eyes, all focus will be on Yasir Shah. And should Pakistan be taking that second new ball when it is available? Daryl Cullinan, good morning. Your thoughts?
Good morning, Rameez. Good morning to all our viewers. Yeah, there's a lot to play for here for both sides. I think these first couple of overs will tell whether Pakistan will consider that second new ball, but if a wicket or two does not fall, it'll be a sure go-to. Mark Hazeman there just pointing out the possibilities of the invariable bounce which the new ball offers. A lot of eyes focus on Quinton de Kock this morning. How will he?
First ball. Oh, ball him! That one kept low. Hassan Ali does the job for Pakistan. What a blow!
A perfect start for Pakistan. Just singing the praises of Maharaj's defence. Was it a good one? And the umpire has decided, Alim Dar, that he wants to see if it was a no ball. No. Now what did this do? Stayed low. Was it full? Should he have got forward? It's a good one to get first up. You've got to give credit here to Hassan Ali. Attacking the stumps. And South Africa now effectively 29 for 5.
He's a fighter and can play strong innings under pressure. What you call a hardy batsman. His numbers can improve, just 100 so far in 43 matches, but Themba Bavuma has got his work cut out here. Both batsmen are not. South Africa need to get off to a good, decent start in the first session. They've lost the overnight night watchman. First ball from Hassan Ali did the job. 1 for 50 now for Hassan Ali. What have he got as a field? So there's a shot mid-wicket, shot cover, slip in a gully, square leg, so all in to stop them from rotating the strike.
Bavuma once again finds himself coming into bat with South Africa in a tough situation. It's often been the case with him, but if ever there was a day to be a hero, today is the day.
Just a slight shade away. Outswinger tried and missed the ball completely. Low bounce, damaging him quite severely in the end. Hassan Ali with his celebrations. I think as a batsman you still should be looking for a low bounce rather than that awkward bounce, because even if you get one, it's not a speedy track, it's not a fast track, so you can get away with it.
Well, I think definitely to him, because he's not the quickest. And if you do end up gloving it, it's just something you've got to get through today. That's the move. That's where you've got to be backing yourself. 130, you've got to be thinking, I can get forward to this. And does he have the height to really get that extreme bounce? It's not a new ball. So everything suggests, yes, Ramesh, you've got to look to get forward.
Yeah, follow wickets, first session 5, second session 7, third session 13. So progressively, the task becomes that much more harder for batsmen come the second and the third session. Oh, you got to be careful. Uneven bounce, you just can't go full blast through the offside.
That's a nervy start. Just at the last moment there, you saw it come into Bavuma. Is that telling us something, though, that he's going to look to play his shots? Now, I think one man that will is Quinton de Kock. I don't think he enjoys his thinking to get in his own way. He's an instinctive sort of player. He's got one of the best strike rates in world cricket for a test batsman.
It's a difficult one for Quinton de Kock because he's got to set an example here. So should he be digging in, or should he just be his natural self, which, as you rightly pointed out, is a go-getter? He hits the ball hard, he's instinctively aggressive. So it's a difficult one. I mean, they need him to be out there, get a partnership, do the basics well, you know, grind it out. Is he that sort of a batsman, though? That is the question. Good result for Pakistan in the first over. They picked up Mehraj, 188 for 5.
Center. Right arm over.
Whilst there's going to be a major role for Yasir Shah on day 4 pitch, but you just cannot count out the fact that the pacers with the reverse swing can also contribute a lot.
I'm surprised they've started with him from this end. He got his success last night at the other end. He got more turn last evening outside off stump to the right-hander. There's always something for him when bowling to the left-hander, whichever end he's bowling from.
Nice flight, lower in pace.
But just going back to de Kock, I think that early wicket may just firm up his belief that the way to play here is to attack. Ideally, he's got to mix attack with caution, but not to get away from his instinctive game. Can't do it on his own. He's going to need a partnership or two. Linders to follow. He showed that in the first innings that he's capable of spending time at the crease.
I thought he bowled a terrific over to Faf du Plessis, and we've got to have another look at it because it's how you structure 6 balls. Look at that spin. I think that put a lot of doubt in his mind. Then he picked the straighter one and a little stuck in the crease. Once again, camping on the back foot and missed that straighter one. Excellent bowling. I guess all you need on a surface like this, if you're a spinner, to spin one appreciably, viciously, and put that doubt in the mind of the batsman that, look, all 6 are going to be like that. And then your straighter one can do the job.
Well, I thought this morning I'd go and have a look at the pitch just to see what's happening out there. It's not a clay soil which becomes powdery and turns, but the turn there often is consistent. This is really rough, the surface. Ball, no doubt, as we've seen, is gripping. And it's always tough if you've got variable bounce, one turns, one doesn't. But going back to that dismissal, that was just clever way of deceiving the batsman with changing pace and flight.
Such an exciting option, leg spin. Always seems to have happened something more when they're on show. Quinton de Kock is off the mark. Yeah, dented surface. And a lot of rough patches have developed. Still kind of manageable off the straight if you take out the variable bounce. And yes, there is some variable bounce, but nothing that you cannot tackle. Played it nicely with soft hands on the back foot. 190 for 5. Hassan Ali from round the stumps to the left-hander. That's his favorite area, around the stumps angle, because he gets the ball to shape away ever so slightly, and even when it straightens from that angle, it can be difficult to handle. Fielding generally has been very nice from Pakistan. They stood out in the first innings, couple of run-outs, couple of great catches. Is that a good time round the back, Abid Ali? 2 catches for him at silly mid-off. It's a no ball, so he'll have to reload again, Hassan. Often wondered, Daryl, whether your performance in the first innings in Test cricket is more valuable or your performance in the second innings. But those numbers nosedive in the second innings for Quinton de Kock. At times you need someone to draw a contest, need someone really to fight it out in the second innings. And so he seems to struggle.
Well, you would think that the first innings is your best time to bat, and the way that he plays, he needs good surfaces. The second innings, it shouldn't really be the same as the first, unless it's a really flat pitch, which just plays very well for 5 days. But that's quite a discrepancy. That's something that maybe you should give thought to. Is it the pitch, or doesn't he work quite as hard in the second innings?
Wants to feel the ball on the bat all the time, Quinton de Kock. So dots can have an effect on his batting psyche. Look to block him, and you probably then will get a response.
What will also be at the back of his mind, you mentioned that Rummy's been captain. Now, that first innings shot was not something you'd expect from a batsman of his quality, first of all, but being a captain. And that kind of goes through the changing room, and you'll feel that pressure. They've just got to hang in here. They've really got to dig deep. It's not easy, and that was the first innings dismissal. It was the story of South Africa's first innings. When they just had a partnership threatening, someone got out. And one thing we learned coming here, and all Test cricket, and Rummies, I'm sure you'll agree, is that through many times having to deal with batting last, and there may be pace around, and the bounce is bad, and you're taking it on the body, and they really getting on top of you. You just, through those experiences, learned that bat for your life in the first innings. Make it count. And you can't come here and compete, and it's 200 odd on the board.
Five down for 192. In 2 overs, Pakistan can opt for the second new ball. Will they go for it? I think that's a question that they need to answer very quickly now. Yasir Shah with the new ball, or Yasir with the old? And let Hassan Ali and company operate with the old ball, look for some reverse.
Well, two things. The reverse, it's late. Now, a new ball would swing more conventionally, which means it'll go earlier. So which is tougher for the batsman? And which ball does Yasir get his hands around better? Get those fingers around better?
Gone! Catch at short leg. It's Abid Ali once again, I think, who's picked up a beauty at short leg. He's had a good test match catching the ball. And it's Yasir Shah once again, this time as captain, who he has taken care of.
You don't need to say it. That's a big blow for South Africa. Beautifully bowled. He's just flighted this one. We've spoken about it, Rummies. Let's see how good this catch is. And you need good guys around the bat. That's a sharp, good one. Very well taken. Delight for Yasir Shah. So is the end fastly approaching for South Africa. Certainly in this innings, it's 192 for 6.
We've been grappling with the right pronunciation for Linde or Linda.
No, not we. Daryl has. And you corrected me. Well, just the rest of the commentary box did. I'm so embarrassed about that. George Linder, he's more than useful with the bat. He's got a first-class 100 or 2. I don't think he's ever found himself batting in this situation before. South Africa now looking for a miracle. They're looking for a hero or 2. Plenty of fielders around the bat.
That is some turn. Yasir Shah can be unstoppable in the second innings. How many times we've seen this to happen? Upsetting the rhythm of the opposition with some great leg spin bowling. More flight this time, wanting him to go for that drive. That's good thinking. It's going to be risky driving the ball out of the rough. This was beautifully hailed by short leg Abid Ali, playing it out of the rough. And such a comforting fact if you've got a good fielder at short leg. Ask any spinner, he'd give his right hand for it. Abid Ali is on the move. His confidence has developed. Oh, chance. Missing the stumps. There's a lot of spin from Yasir Shah. It's not going to get that one.
They are considering it. Can't help thinking there were 2 sounds. Too much doubt, so rightly so, the correct decision. He's still thinking, what about it?
Spinning the ball out of the rough. Would have gone on to miss the stumps down the leg side. So his performance is incredible when you compare his stats in the first innings and in second innings. 123 wickets in second innings for an average of less than 24 in first innings. 110 wickets with an average of almost 39. So remarkable change when he comes on to bowl in the second innings. 192 for 6.
So for Pakistan, the big wicket of Quinton de Kock. Now I've got a few questions here for Ramiz Raja. Now there's 2 schools of thought. You play slightly ahead of the pad. That's how I always remember Sachin. And the other one is to get out in front. But by getting out in front, you're creating pace on the ball. The ball's not hitting a dead bat. And for South Africa for years now, playing spin, that's the way, that's the approach that they've adopted. De Kock there, another example, where he's going at it. But had he just been there, bat at more or less a 45-degree angle, the chances are that it would have dropped down short of that man. But by just pushing at it, looking to turn it over, getting so far out in front, it opens up the outside edge.
I think the process should start from the hand of the bowler when the ball is in flight. You've got to pick the length, first of all, and try to get nearer the length of the ball to kill any spin on it. And then you've got to play it with soft hands. As you rightly pointed out, he went hard at it. And that you tend to do when you're not comfortable with your defensive play. B, you've not picked the length. And C, it's just jittery, generally jittery. You look at the surface, you look at the debris, the rough areas, and you make up your mind that this is going to be tough for me. So hence, you freeze up a little and you go with hard hands.
So how far in front of the pad should you get? So he's kind of picked up, a batsman would pick up that it's going to be touch fuller. And yes, in that attempt to smother that spin, which is any first cricket book would tell you, key is to smother the spin as much as possible. But in the process, you're pushing hard at it.
I would have batted it up. What? I mean, that's got to be the only thought in your mind when he's bowling round the stumps out of the rough. You're not going to get leg before wicket at all. So when you're looking to defend, I think padding up the ball has got to be the paramount thought running in your mind. I'm going to tease him, I'm going to frustrate him, I'm going to make him bowl another channel, and that probably be easier for me to tackle also. I think the fact that most of these South African batsmen are so keen to feel the ball on the bat, even when it's not needed. I think you've got to have a clearer game plan against Yasir Shah. Either then play the sweep shot. If you're not comfortable with your defensive shot, then play the sweep shot with the spin. But have a solid game plan. It's nicely played in the air. Reverse swing from Hassan Ali. Misfielded. Avuma gets a single, and so after 80 overs, 193 for the loss of 6. So second new ball is available. Pakistan still not interested, and rightly so, I guess, because they've had good results this morning. Yasir Shah 4 wickets, looking to sweep the ball, gloved it and nicely taken, and this was beautiful catch, undone by the straighter one. And then today this morning looking to feel the ball out of the rough, not needed actually, could have easily padded it.
And it's not a really a committed forward defensive shot. It's just sort of a lazy push. We've looked at it quite closely. But it's interesting you mentioned the use of the pad. You mentioned it yesterday, one of the great innings against spin. And I remember Barry Richards as a commentator was there, and he said it was one of the best innings. I think Lara had got 200s to Malilithran. And what he did was, when it was full, and not quite there, he would just at that last moment just shove the pad, hide the pad, just shove the pad, and it was full enough, he swept it. He just swept it into the spin. But the point you keep making, Ramesh, and you know, this is something that I guess it's for all cricketers, is have a clear plan. Take out, always thought, take out the idea that who's around you, because if you get a good one, you get caught here. You've got to just say also, well bowled. But to just be a stationary target, sort of a half-hearted push at it, looking to turn it. It's so often the result.
Bowling Shaji.
We've spoken a lot about de Kock, and Bavuma's at the crease, so where does he go from here? 5 and 21. He got that little sweep out earlier, the length was good. Can't help thinking, and it's something I picked up last night, that he definitely, to the right-hander, got more turn this end, the other end. He started his spell, bowled 19 yesterday, from the end that he's bowling from right now, but all the action, that late action, happened at the other end, the media end.
Nicely played, well bowled, good contest this. Bavuma More at ease against Yasir Shah in that over. 195 for 6. Top order functioned quite nicely for South Africa, then collapse in the middle order. And now South Africa with a slender lead of 37. They're effectively 37 for the loss of 6. Has gone through for 4. Fuller length attempted by Hassan Ali. There's a little bit of reverse as well. It was played well in the end. Jammed on it and got it to somehow sneak through the slip cordon.
It's that strangled feeling. It's a horrible time to be in for a batsman. When backs to the wall, the game's going nowhere, you're struggling to get a run. So much work to do. In a funny way, it can just relieve you of the pressure. You just say, well, this stage is really my job. Yes, we want you to get runs, but what can happen is, being where you are, let's look at a batsman like Linda, they can try and knock you over. If you just set up and you know it's going to, in that effort, it's going to come a lot straighter more often. There are some runs to get. I think communication between these two is very important. Good encouragement, thoughts on what the bowlers are doing.
At times you're better off playing the pull shot on a surface like this, because that will allow you to keep your focus on the ball. 200 is raised by South Africa. 200 for the loss of 6. Because when the ball is misbehaving, it can be difficult really to get underneath a bouncer. You never know how much height it's going to take. So if you're looking to play the pull shot, not hard pull shot, that'll allow you to have more look at the ball.
For sure. He's not the quickest. And if you do play it well, I would definitely encourage it.
Nice shot. Bavuma located that in-swinging angle quite cleverly. Now he's got to be careful with his running.
I had that thought as he called for the second. No, it was a comfortable run. He's always had something. That's one thing I've always said about his cricket. And just that ability where he can just convert, just take it a bit further. Sort of player that is like Markram in many ways, where you just get over that hurdle once, maybe twice, then the runs will really come more consistently. But it's been a challenge for him. He so often found himself in these situations, and that's also not ideal either.
On the pads, Bavuma plays a good shot and no runs of that ball. 202 for the loss of 6.
Yasir Shah to continue. A smile on his face. I'm not surprised. It's been a very impressive half hour from Pakistan. 2 wickets for very few runs.
Yeah, no respite at all for South Africa. Ball reversing from one end, and Yasir Shah round the wicket, 2 left-handers. He loves that line of attack. His preferred line of attack round the wicket, bowling to left-handers with the rough to play with. And all left-handed batsmen always keep reminding everybody that they have to deal with the rough every time. Every test match, it's the left-hander who has the problems with the rough. Yasir Shah will keep plugging away just on that line. So far it's been a stranglehold. We haven't seen any sort of release for South Africa.
It's so important here that these two players play their natural game. They're both guys who like to be positive, and particularly Bavuma. Anything that gets like that, he must make sure he puts it away and puts it away well. They can't go into his shell, and I think that's the decision that he's actually taken, which is good news for South African supporters. He's a fine player, but he does have issues occasionally with the tempo of his game. It's really hard to play that positive format there. I'm not necessarily talking about scoring runs all the time, but just doing everything positive that he can do, even when he's defending, to make sure that he's attempting to make a difference out there, and of course taking full toll of anything that he recognises.
I hear you. And it was so important that Pakistan get Quinton de Kock out early, because he was the one player that could actually get some runs flowing, or get them that lead go quickly ahead. A sweep shot, and that might be a boundary, so the option of the sweep this time working.
Hey, good stuff from George Linder. Played really nice, I thought, in the first innings. And again, he's a flowing player, so he's got to look to do this. And again, it's not easy, but it's a really good shot. Quite prepared to play the sweep. He knows it's something he can play well. That's what you've got to do. Play your natural game. Don't be like a rabbit caught in the headlights.
South Africa lead by 50. Yeah, Yasir Shah, 4 for already, and still he's got opportunity to get 4 more. But it's been about the leg spinner. Reverse swing this morning, and that has meant that Pakistan still haven't taken that second new ball, which has been due.
Just looking at that batting card, and it's a long tail. Let's face it. I mean, you got Linder, of course, and then you got the bowlers. When I say it's a long tail, it's not that long, I suppose, but the next 3 are not expected to get runs. And it just makes me think back to that last wicket stand of 55 that Pakistan had. I mean, what a difference that's made in the context of this test match. Really shows the true value of guys batting all the way down, and when they do get a chance, getting stuck in right at the bottom. Huge frustration factor when the South Africans were out there yesterday morning.
And certainly South Africa find themselves at the receiving end with lower order players. South Africa with those all-rounders for so many years at the back end. Rabada, Nokia, Nagiri to follow. And you would think that this is a final resistance in terms of the batting lineup, this partnership. So here's how would it be like now, returning the favor, other sides now getting runs at the back end, bottom order. It's always South Africa with all those all-rounders batting deep. Very rarely did you associate a long tail with the South African lineup.
You didn't at all, and there were always all-rounders. I mean, there's Mulder's an all-rounder. Mulder did a very good job as a all-rounder, a batting all-rounder, admittedly, in my mind, against Sri Lanka, but omitted for this game because they wanted to play all the spinners. Then Ngidi was suddenly brought in at the last minute when Shamsi did his back in the warm-ups, literally, astonishingly, actually, 10 minutes before the toss. So yeah, you're right, it's a different look. I mean, I remember when I first went to South Africa, I mean, a long time ago, that was when the Dead Sea was still sick, actually. But I remember then that there were so many all-rounders all over the place in domestic cricket. It was quite scary.
Yeah, look at the lower order, averaging 11.8, 8.5 and 6.5. So, yes, Maharaj, who's promoted as a night watchman, he's got 15. So, it is fairly long tail. And surprisingly, Pakistan, over the past couple of years, have had long tails, and the lower order hasn't contributed. But this game, I spotted this as in Chansha Afridi was promoted up the order, so they basically batted till number 11. The ball is due, but it still is reversing. I'm not sure if Pakistan still would like to take that new ball.
It depends on the feeling of Yasir Shah. If he's quite happy to bowl with a new ball, then I would take it personally, because that's where you're going to get even more variable bounce, particularly from Afridi. If Shah's happy, I'd bring it in personally.
He's reversing. No, just outside off, so 209 for 6. Second new ball available. Yasir Shah, well, doesn't mind bowling with that new ball, but you just feel that Pakistan quite comfortable right now. The new ball obviously offers the opportunity to come onto the bat, and run scoring becomes slightly easier in terms of the pace of the ball. Cut away, and that gets through. Good batting, deep in the crease, back cuts it away.
Yeah, he's got quick feet, Temba Bavuma. He realised he had an opportunity. It was a little uppish off the bat, but it didn't matter. That was absolutely fine. Quick feet. A little bit of a prod forward, and then suddenly rocked back and knew exactly what he wanted to do with that. Rock forward, slightly short, he spotted it. Very nicely played. That's a compact player. That's the smaller guys. He's 5'4". The smaller guys, I mean, they're nice and compact, and they can certainly get in position quickly.
Lower center of gravity helps with the balance.
Don Bradman was not much taller than that, a couple of inches.
Off the back foot again, but this time just a single. Nicely played. 2-14 for 6. .56 the lead, so 4 wickets in hand for South Africa. Effectively 56 for 6.
I really like the way Temba Bavuma's moving now. So he's been there for a while. I remember when I started playing first-class cricket, there was a guy called John Inverarity who played a lot of cricket in Australia, first-class cricket that is, and he was vice-captain for Australia for a while. And he gave me one piece of advice only, and he just said the game is simpler if you bat for 30 minutes. And that is dead right. It doesn't matter what the conditions are, and these conditions are foreign to some of these South African players. You bat for 30 minutes, it looks a bit different. Look at that, moving, in sync, that's what I like to call it, in sync with the bowler. 140 k's per hour, and he wasn't the slightest bit rushed.
New ball taken. Shaheen Shah Afridi very adept with the new ball, and be interesting where he bowls to Bavuma. I reckon he'll attack him pretty full, especially with the first few deliveries. He likes to bowl that Yorker even with the new ball swinging back in, but he'll try and bowl it pretty full even outside off. But the opportunity for the South Africans also, with a little more pace on the ball, off the pitch with the new ball, to maybe just get some runs. So this phase provides a slight opportunity in terms of run scoring as well. He's gone back over the wicket to accentuate that ball, just coming back in, the LBW in play. And now a short mid wicket also in place. As you said, lovely balance. Bavuma played that well with the ball coming back in. He looks quite organized. He looks, well, just from afar, he doesn't look as a man who's not relaxed at the crease. It just baffles you when he's not got, his conversion rate is not that great. It just baffles you why.
Don't forget to jump onto YouTube, youtube.com. There's the web page at the bottom, the link. We've had over 2 million hits on YouTube in the first couple of days. Thanks for those that have been watching. So there it is, youtube.com/c/Pakistan Cricket Official. Live stream in Pakistan on YouTube. Nice and crisp and clear. And plenty of action too. Plenty of action in this test match. Wow, what a game it's been. Pakistan were up against it on day one. Stumps on day one, they were 4 for very few down, and now they just fought back superbly. 4 for 27 they were. 33 rather, and fought back beautifully from that moment.
Play and a miss. 215 for 6. So Yasir Shah, he's got the new ball. A straighter one or that flatter one, the quicker one, will skid off the surface more, so he'll work on that, but he'll set it up with slow leg spinners. Correct. That's how he works. Go couple of up and then
Good bowling.
get one to just straighten quickly, skid off the surface.
It's nicely bowled. The reason I was interested to know if he was okay with the new ball, and clearly he is, was that the great Matai Muralidharan, 800 test wickets, just didn't like bowling at all, and in fact very rarely bowled with a new ball. Just didn't like it at all.
Nicely struck. Come back for 2. The one thing that's been impressive is that back foot shot from Bavuma. Been able to pick the length quickly and get right back on his stumps.
Just gone past the 50 minutes of the crease now, Bavuma. Partnership building, 25. That's what they've got to talk about. I'm sure they have been. Partnerships doing something with that.
Oh, yeah, Shaji.
Just that last delivery from Yasir Shah. Just have a look at this stretch and the extra bounce with the new ball, hitting up on the splice. That's the one thing that obviously a short player like Bavuma has got to be a little bit concerned with. That if it does bounce a bit more, he can ride it. Just have a look at the extra bounce here with the half new ball. There it is, but beautifully played. No dramas whatsoever, but a little bit more bounce. And maybe there's a bat shoulder that might come into play if he doesn't adjust at the last minute.
It's bat again. Cut shot working perfectly. 218 for 6.
I highlighted an area in the pitch report earlier today, which is around about the 8-metre mark, actually, from the base of the stumps of the batsman. And there's a little shade, and this is Hassan Ali bowling, and It bounced right in that spot. That's where the variable bounce has been. A lot of it's been with the new ball, which is why Afridi will be quite excited, I think, right now to be hitting that area. He's done a lot of that. So it's around about 8 metres. It's a little bit full as far as Afridi's concerned, and Bavuma's quite happy with that sort of length. But the deliveries in that sort of box, Elgar got hit a couple of times. One or two rolled actually from that box. I suppose you could call it the Bermuda Triangle area, or even Bavuma Triangle if you wanted to. If you really wanted to. I presume you don't want to.
Not at all, because he was run out first innings. He had nothing to do with that box. Bavuma triangle was the pop increase really, because he never got to it. And at that situation, well, the first innings, they'll be ruining the fact that they had 2 run-outs and just set the tone for the game. It's been a topsy-turvy game, but look at those minor mistakes, and those 2 run-outs really stand out.
2 run-outs and too many soft dismissals. That's the name of the game for South Africa in the first dig. And then you got to look at the carnage that then the bowlers caused when Pakistan came out to bat, and then the application from Pakistan. Fawad Alam was just absolutely magnificent. Application that those guys exuded, and they got stuck in and built big partnerships and big hundreds as well, 800 as well, which was so valuable. And then some serious runs at the tail. Let's not forget their fielding. Pakistan's field, they outfielded South Africa in this test match. And that is quite unique, I think.
A lead by 60. Fawad Alam 109, Fahim Ashraf 69, 64. But the partnership for the 10th wicket you mentioned earlier that is making a difference. Add what, 50 to that South African lead, and Pakistan will be a lot more cautious right now. Nicely played, beautiful shot. The pace off the new ball allowing him just to punch it down the ground for a couple of runs.
I also forgot to mention the application from Markram and van der Dussen. I thought they did a very good job at stand of 127. And then suddenly things turned dramatically late last night. I thought that over, and Ramiz was talking about it earlier, that Yasir Shah bowled to Faf du Plessis. The setup was absolutely brilliant. It's been a fascinating test. It really has.
The edge through those third slip and gully, and has gone for the boundary which ends the over. 224 for 6.
I don't know why he's gone away from that natural length that he bowls. Shaheen Shah Afridi, he normally doesn't bowl that full all the time, and he's been driven twice in that over from Bavuma. Obviously got some sort of plan that he's working on. He's spotted something.
Partnership 32. Yasir Shah will enjoy this now with the newer ball round the wicket. And just slightly too straight that time, being worked away towards leg. He's aiming for the rough, which is outside off, and with that, this new ball, there might be more reaction with the harder ball, but needs to be bowling at the left-hander more often than not.
My thoughts this morning before the start of play was if South Africa could somehow find another 150 runs, I think that would have put Pakistan under some serious pressure.
Nicely done with that deep square leg. Is pretty fine just for that shot. That's got really fine. It's a lap shot which is going a very fine leg, but if you look at the fielder set for the sweep shot, he's almost just for that lap shot. He's extremely fine. He's not your regular deep square leg. He's almost a fine leg set for a fast bowler. He's quite fine there. He's not for that conventional sweep shot. He's actually for that lap sweep or a tickle down leg side. And that is what the new ball will do, the natural variation, the one that just carries on straight and will attack the inside edge. Abid Ali's been in play all second innings.
He has been sensational in this test match, Abid Ali, taking a couple of terrific catches. Look at that, his instincts there are just superb. That is an enormous advantage to a spinner. If you've got someone who is a class act around the bat all the time, really does reap rewards. It also allows him to get a little bit closer than what other guys would do if he wanted to, because his reflexes are so good. He can actually creep in a yard if he wanted to. He's obviously quite happy where he is right now, but there have been times where he's been right on the edge of the pitch. Strengthening that area now. Right in the line of a loose delivery. If that happens to be bowled, he'd be in trouble. But then again, there's the confidence of the bowling from the champion leg spinner.
228 for 6.
Both 11-10 water time.
.228 for 6, South Africa. They are ahead by 70 runs. They have 6 wickets in hand. And what a performance by Pakistan today. Wicket on the first ball by Hassan Ali. And then the danger man, de Kock, got out of Yasir Shah.
Oh, nasty one, and well played in the end. That's beautiful batting by Bavuma. Played it down, didn't go hard at it. Jumping up in the air, is a small fellow, but controlled that one brilliantly.
Awkward length, awkward bounce. And very nicely played with soft hands. Didn't carry towards gully where Yasir Shah was waiting. 70 runs on this pitch. If you're chasing batting fourth, 140, 150 could be a very difficult ask. The plan should be to get a wicket now and get into tail straight away.
Yes, exactly right, Waz, because 150 on day 4, day 5 pitch with Rabada in form, running in hard in Pakistan. I've had a close look at the pitch as well, and that's got to sit a bit negatively in their mind. You know, 150 could be a bit of a teaser for them. Beautifully played, because normally when you hit on the gloves early in the over, you again look for that awkward length and so get deceived by the fuller length. On this occasion, he was on top of it.
Pitch like this, the aim should be by fast bowlers, just short of a length, especially with the new ball and with the hard ball. We just saw that deliveries, two deliveries before that awkward bounce. So that's where he should be aiming at every time he's running into ball from around the wicket. Shaheen, he's sprinting in.
Plays it fine for 4. That's good batting. Bavuma into the 30s. He's hard nut to crack. He's very hardy as a batsman. He'll give his 100%. May not have the numbers as far as Test cricket career is concerned, but every now and then you put him in a pressure cooker situation and he'll deliver.
Yeah, he appears to be a fighter. He's fighting it out there for his team. Just little offline, inside edge. And obviously fine leg was wider on a slow pitch. Ball raced away to the boundary. He's averaging just under 32. Bavuma, 74 runs ahead now, South Africa.
Inside edge earns him a single. Shaheen Shah Afridi kicking the turf is not happy chappy. A little frustrated was Shaheen Afridi. None for 61 his figures, 233 for 6.
Four for 75. Yasir Shah is 31. Noman Ali, 20 overs, 27 for 1, bowled beautifully. And Hassan Ali, another with the wicket, 1 for 61. Change of bowling from the university end. Noman Ali will take the ball now. 1 for 27 in his 20. So that's a good... 7 over spell from Yasir Shah. That's actually not a bad thinking by Babar Azam. Yesterday, I reckon he bowled him a bit too long. It's 19 over spell. 6 overs, 7 over. He's got so many options as far as bowling concerned. 3 fast bowlers, 2 proper spinners. Slip and a short leg to start off with for Naman. Fine leg is going finer for this paddle sweep.
On a messy pitch, he's looked very neat and clean, Bavuma, against Spain. That's the hallmark of a player who's comfortable playing spin. Very good defensive batting from him so far.
Just playing good cricket, sensible cricket, not taking any risks, playing according to every delivery, and it made it simple. If it's there, I'll play it there. If it's short of a length, I'll just block it with soft hands. So that's very sensible cricket from Bavuma. He's on 33. Every run is important for him and, of course, for his team. 1500s first-class career. And look at the average, healthy average of 30, almost 37, 8,000 plus runs.
A lot of questions being asked in South Africa regarding his lack of getting hundreds. And my take on the situation is that he'll give you hard runs when it matters. So just live with it, because every player can't be a Jacques Kallis. So work with his limitations. He provides clarity in a tough situation, and that is such a big plus to have. That's well with the tail.
What a cricketer Callis was. One of the best all-rounders, the top slip fielder. And remember when he came in the burst onto the scene, and he was quite sharp. He was easily 145, 140. And one of the safest fielders in slip cordon. For me, one of the top all-rounders ever who played the game. Callis, 200 catches in Test cricket as well, on top of his runs and wickets.
Beautiful, Nomi.
Noman could be a good choice with the new ball because it's different to Yasir Shah. It's a little flatter, get it to come at a certain pace, quicker off the surface. And be careful playing him out of the rough.
So he's trying to hit the rough, Noman. He's got two fielders, leg side, short leg and leg gully. The quicker one. 234 for 6.
Partnership worth 42. They played sensibly. Pavuma has shown a lot of courage and good technique. That is what South Africans really will be hoping from their tail-enders. Just dig in, make sure that you don't make it simple for Pakistan. Let's try to drag this game into day 5. 8 runs in 6 overs. Fahim Ashraf has been used sparingly.
Beautiful day here at National Stadium in Karachi. The sun is out, perfect weather for cricket, and of course perfect weather for Kupa. Tapal Danedar.
First session is 2.5 hours because of Friday. So we have extended first session. Lunch is for an hour today, so...
You can have a nap as well after lunch.
Yeah, they feed us properly, so wouldn't mind sort of taking it easy on a lounger.
Power nap. Works wonder.
There's a good partnership developing between Noman and Yasir Shah. I think he's bowled well, Noman, for a debutant, because you look at temperament, quality, where they provide control to skipper. He's done all of the above.
Yeah, he did actually. He looked the part. He batted well as well when was required, gave some runs to his team. Good partnership with him and Yasir Shah. Good economy rate so far in the first dig as well, 2 for 38. to 2.24 and 1 wicket already in this innings. So good start by Noman. Yesterday after the game, Rams, when I went back home, I saw obviously the social media and Aleem Dar was trending. And obviously he's one of the best umpires in world cricket. Good shot straight to the batsman, straight to the fielder. I'll come back to it after this over. 234 for 6.
Right, we'll have a pause here for drinks break. As a class act in the second innings, 74 of 224 balls. Applied himself very cleverly on a tough pitch and almost pulled it off up until the last half an hour where South Africa lost their way, lost wickets, and so 6 down for 234, 4 for 75 for Yasir Shah. He's been the wrecker-in-chief. Noman on debut, 1 for 28 and 1 for Hassan Ali.
Yeah, I was coming back to that point where Aleem Dar was trending yesterday after the game, and I checked on social media rams. He made a couple of mistakes, human errors that can happen. He's only human. 133 test matches, thrice ICC Umpire of the Year, and we were having a go at him as a cricket-loving nation, the guy who given us so much good name. So that's not fair on this guy, one of the best umpires in world cricket and a great human being on and off the field. So well done, Aleem. We are proud of you, buddy.
So you had the time, Wes, after working so hard here, day 3, to go and check the social media stuff.
I have 45 minutes drive back home. And on the way, obviously, there's nothing else to do. You go through. This is normal nowadays. You don't watch TV. I hardly watch television now. Everything you get on social media, the news, the current affairs, you name it.
Absolutely right. I think we need to show respect to the guys who have delivered. Simple as that. And I think trending for the wrong reasons is just a very sad situation. At times, it's not needed.
100% agreed. I agree with you on this particular subject. No turn because the ball is new. He's hitting the right area, just outside off stump. The area of uncertainty, especially for the left-hander.
Pakistan last night, half an hour before the close of play, got the act right by having another man close to the bat on the offside. They need to do the same. They're not going to attack Noman out of the rough. So have a silly mid-off in. I think that leg slip is a wasted effort because he's not really going to play that leg flick.
So he can do ram this mid-off, can go a little wider towards extra cover, and this fielder extra cover can go in, especially your first 4 deliveries of Noman Ali. And if he plays it well, then you can have that fielder back for the last 2 deliveries, just to create extra pressure on the batsman.
It'll be such a great shot if he drives out of the rough for 4 through the offside. So let him. I think there'll be a chance also.
That's the idea. I'm not saying that for the whole over, 4 balls, have that fielder up, at least against Linda, and see what happens. You can gamble away with 1 boundary, and you might get a wicket in the process.
Oh, there is that. Big drive, and well, it's taken at leg slip. I was wondering whether that leg slip fielder was needed or not. Well, we have the answer now. Out of the rough, trying to hit the ball hard through the offside, and Linda is deceived and gone.
What a wicket. Second for Noman. Hitting the right areas, righted delivery, rough inside edge onto his pad, and then good catch by Imran. But again, he seems a very safe fielder around the bat and in slip caught Imran. But that's a good sign for Pakistan cricket. He fought well, Linda. Departs for 11. South Africa struggling now a bit. 234 for 7.
234 for the loss of 7. Rabada is walking in. Pakistan sensing a kill on day 4. 7 down for 234. Best of 34 is a stylish tail-ender, Rabada. Batted quite nicely in the first innings.
He's got 21 odd in the first inning, an important one too. So don't take him easy, guys. They're 76 runs ahead. South Africa 3 wickets in hand. Brilliant performance by the Pakistan team. The second innings. This is the wicket.
Yeah, looking for that big drive through the offside and went through his legs to the man ahead. Leg slip and a very good catch, and I think he's got excellent hands, Abid Ali. Sorry, Imran Butt. Temperamentally very good, because you feel a bit lost playing your first test match, and so that'll give him a lot of lift. 3 catches so far for him.
Good line, just peck of a length, short of a length, just outside off stump. That's his job today for him. He should bowl 4-5 overs, give away only 5 to 8 runs. That would be ideal for Babar Azam, the skipper. And from the other end, with Numan bowling or Yasir Shah bowling, they can attack. For Rabada, if he faces Numan for at least first couple of balls, keep mid-on up. Let him take a chance. Let him play towards mid-wicket and extra towards mid-on. Coming back to the wicket again of Numan Ali. Second one, flatted delivery. That deceived it. And of course, the rough inside edge. And again, credit to Imran Butt. It's not an easy catch, especially in leg slip, inside edge too. So that shows he's got good reflexes. You got to be natural kind of fielder around the pads, and then in a slip cordon.
He's looked the part, Bavuma. Whilst the others have struggled, he's looked rock solid. His movement have been precise. He's got a game plan which is fairly simple. Most catches on test match debut. Amir Malik, popularly known as Yakka in the dressing room.
Payaka.
I hope you're listening to this telecast, Amir Malik, and you're well. A wacky sense of humor, Amir Malik. Such a funny guy. And what, 10 in 1? Because he could keep wickets, he could bowl medium paces, he could open.
He could bowl off spinners as well.
Off spinners as well. He could sing.
And
yeah, it's
great sense of humor.
Great sense of humor. End of the over, 234 for 7.
शाबाश भाइयों, यही टाइम है जरा सारे जरा मिलके सो जाए जरा.
Pakistan so far have had a very good morning session. 3 wickets so far. They've had a plan and it's worked perfectly. So Noman has picked up a wicket. Yasir Shah has looked outstanding.
Good captaincy by Babar Azam today. He was giving short bursts to his fast bowlers and to his spinners to keep them fresh all the time. So good job. First test match as a skipper, and plenty more to come, I can promise you that.
Beautiful, Nomi.
Now that single shouldn't have been conceded. New man in, you've got to get in.
He's a number 9 batsman. The same fielder can be just in front of point and you can have extra cover open for Abada against Noman and tell him to cover drive me through the rough, through a bait. But of course, he's a young captain, first test match, he'll learn.
Good fielders tend to adjust themselves also. Pick up at least 2, if not more. Bavuma. It could be an excellent template for rest of these South Africans really to follow. Bavuma. Very clear in his technique, in his mind, what to do against spin, how to bat against reverse swing. See, he's so comfortable defending the ball, so he's worked extremely hard at that defensive shot, and that you need in subcontinent conditions to survive and thrive.
And he's not looking to play big shots. He's just trying to survive, and in a process, if he gets runs, he's getting runs. He's on 31 now, 35 of 79.
Oh!
Slightly quicker delivery, rock solid.
Really good batting. Nice bowling, a little different on this occasion, targeting middle and leg stump line. So it's 7 down for 237.
Lead now 79.
Go!
Baz, you called this wicket from day one, the only one amongst us. I'm going to put my South African cap on. How much do they realistically need, in your opinion and knowledge of this pitch, to feel they've got a chance? I know as many as possible, there's lots of time, but what could give them a sniff?
Beautiful delivery. That ball seaming away. It's not a ground which necessarily the fourth innings teams subside. History suggests, or stats suggest, that it's just nipping away. But Darryl, history suggests that NSK, National Stadium Karachi, is not a ground where fourth innings is necessarily a minefield or very low scores. But considering the game, you'd say they still, well, they need 150 lead, or they need to set Pakistan something in excess of 150 to really have that sniff. Ideally, you'd say 200. But is enough in this pitch from day one onwards, is enough in terms of that indifferent bounce and spin that you could say that 150 would be a minimum.
Well, if that is to be the case, then they'll remember that they had Pakistan 33 for 4. They bowled aggressively. It was a great session where they were controlled. So the lowest targets defended by South African tests, 117 Australia, that 146. In fact, both those first two targets, I was part of those two test matches.
Remember that game in Faisalabad? Sean Pollock got 5 per.
And if memory serves me correct, he was bowling on a similar sort of pitch. It's a variable bounce, but it was just a great display, typical Pollock in terms of lines and lengths, which he was famous for. That was the summary of the match. A brilliant 100 by Gary Kirsten. Wasim in the wickets, Hansi in the wickets, Inzimam, Pat Simcox, have a look at that, Mushtaq, and then 11 overs, Sean Pollock, 5 for 37.
To 37 for 7.
As we've been waffling away here this morning, Temba Bavuma has just quietly gone on to a good little 35 here. He's played very well, and it's been recognised by Ramiz Raja that he's been very good in his defence.
Oh yeah, beautiful buddy.
And so often is the case at these sorts of innings where it teaches you so much about yourself than a big flashy 80 or 100. You find out things about yourself, and that can give you a lot of encouragement. Well played, full enough, a gentle dab, and that's his go-to shot to get off strike. So good sensible cricket this by Bavuma. Brings Rabada on strike. Now there's one thing that does disappoint me about Rabada's cricket, is that he doesn't give himself enough credit as a batsman. I'm convinced that he could really become a key player for South Africa. Who knows, potentially batting at, I wouldn't quite say 6, but certainly 7. And that's one thing I would really sit him down and say, look, you've got a role to play here. And as the career goes on and the pace isn't what it used to be, batting becomes more important. He's a good striker of the ball. He's technically good. And when it's up, he hits it a long way. Is it far enough? There's a man. And he's dropped it. My word.
Rabada was trying to hit this over mid-on. The spin coming back in took it a lot squarer. Has gone in the air and was in the air for a long time. But it doesn't matter because he spins it through the gate. Numan Ali with a classical delivery, left arm spin, outside off stump, hitting middle.
Classic commentator's curse. Just talking about his batting and believing that he's far better than he gives himself credit for. And this is a good piece of cricket by Pakistan. Numan Ali, he's just been the perfect foil for Yasir Shah. What a good test match he's been having. Driving when the ball's outside off, in the rough. Not quite the rough there, but the turn is there. Where to finish the man off. It's always a great pleasure for spinner when you've beaten the man through the gate driving. Rabada only the single, and South Africa now 238 for 8, effectively 80 for 8.
और हो गया आपने किया ना कुछ जो मैं करने जाऊँ आप अपना जगह पे करते जाओ Jay, come.
Yeah, 8 down. Nokia walks out. It's still just a lead of 80. It's under 3 figures. Average of 8, best of 40. Get a 20 or he'll be happy in these conditions. But Pakistan running through South Africa. It's been doing the trick, and slowly but surely Pakistan going towards small little chase. Yasir Shah. A short leg and a slip in place. Short outside off, Sambhavuma elects to take the single, trusting Nokia. Numan Ali just getting the ball outside off in the rough. The cover drive defeated, middle stump. It's classic dismissal. Left arm spinner. Well, he dreams of this every day. That's a fantastic debut as Numan Ali.
The drop catch, he was still on strike. Did they not attempt a single?
No, they did not, which was quite a surprise because the ball went in the air and stayed in the air for a long, long time. Into the boundary.
Well, you had to be running. What a situation where you're trying to protect the batsman that's in. Had to be a single. Yasir Shah rushed one onto Anrich Nokia in the first innings and it got him trapped on the crease, bowled him. I hope he's learned from that and thinking of making sure that he is aware of that change of pace and gets forward.
Intrizah Bahua took a single of the very first ball this over, so it's not as if Rabada was being protected against any particular bowling. And he's gone for this wicket, his inside edge, inside half of the bat, and it's gone towards deep square leg, and he's just sat there. He just sat there and not attempted to get out of his crease or attempt the single or anything. Hassan Ali shells it. And Rabada survives, but he doesn't survive the next ball because he's still on strike. Hassan Ali was very happy after that dismissal. Next delivery. 239 for 8.
अंदर
Move probably has to find another level now. Needs to find some quick scoring options. Inside edge. Rizwan lurking as always. But just a thought here, Daryl, the first innings where Pakistan batted, the runs that they got at the back end, I've just picked out two players, which is Fahim Ashraf and Yasir Shah. Fahim Ashraf got 64, strike rate of 76. Paddle Sweep will take the single. Yasir Shah got 38, a strike rate of 102.7. So at the back end they got runs, but they got the runs quickly. Problem is, on this pitch it's difficult to survive long periods of time. Yes, you can survive, but you need to be scoring as well. In the back end you need to be scoring quicker. So who's the man right now who'll step up and do that job? We haven't seen that at the back end of the innings. We had one partnership with Van der Dusen and Markram, which went along for a long time, but it's not been that one player or a couple of players who actually provided impetus and actually got runs on the board. I think these two players made a huge difference.
Massive difference. There'll be one or two other things which may end up being the difference between the two sides in terms of this test series, but one of them is immediate, is that Pakistan bat deep, South Africa don't. They lost 8 wickets for 112 runs in their first innings. It's quite clear, if you get them 4 or 5 down, it's a very long tail. Throw in a few soft dismissals and where does the tail start? But in saying all of that, I do think they are a better batting unit. Let's always remind ourselves that for a lot of them it's a first time experience playing test cricket in this part of the world. I just hope that they take away from this test match the key thoughts that you've got to bat well first innings. You cannot win the game in the second innings with the sort of wickets and the quality spin bowling. You've got to make that first innings count.
Has a go and doesn't succeed. Fawad Alam with the catch. Numan Ali is running through the tail enders.
What a lovely test match he's having, and it's one thing to talk about the Pakistan tail scoring, but they look like batsmen. And for South Africa and their tail, sadly they don't. Playing against the spin, that's just a simple good old waft, easiest of catches. 82 now for 9. Anrich Nokia goes for a duck. South Africa lead by 82, 240 for 9.
सुबह से ना
Ngidi walks out. Conversation with Bavuma. Number 11. Tough conditions, ball spinning. South Africa ideally want to maybe to get to 3 figures. It's still 80. The issue with this pitch is that wickets do fall in clusters. Numan Ali searching for his 5th. Oh, spin outside edge. Come back for 2. Successful over Numan Ali. 242 for 9.
Pakistan picked up from where they left off late last evening with consistent flow of wickets this morning, and the 2 spinners doing the damage.
Yasir Shah, well, he's also searching for his 5th, so the race for the 5th wicket between the 2 spinners.
Well, this changed the way that Bavuma's thinking about his game. 9 down. And Ngidi doesn't really fill you with much confidence when he's got bat in hand. Looks like they're looking to give him 1. Men back on the offside and leg side.
How does he play this now? He blocks 4 deliveries and then tries for the single, or blocks 4 deliveries and then tries for a couple of boundaries.
I hope they've had that discussion. Well, he's taken the single, so it hasn't been a discussion.
Interesting. Second delivery, he's just let it him on, got off strike. So 4 deliveries for Ngidi to survive. And he'll be surrounded by all those fielders. Play that. How do you play that? It's just gone sideways. Oh, does well, does really well. Pushes it into the leg side, gets off strike, so it's back to Bavuma.
He's got to now at least be thinking about picking up a single. 2 balls remaining in the over. That has still not been struck. The hit and win. Prize of $500, and that is by Service Tyres.
I think their money is safe. And, they are taking the single, so 3 singles is over. And Bavuma desperately wanting Ngidi to survive this last delivery. Watch out for that front pad. Yasir Shah probably will be aiming for that and get the ball to straighten. Survives it, only just inside edge, but he's done a job. It's 245 for 9.
Well, it's Fali now. Let's see if he can pick up the 5-4. Bavuma on strike. 40 from 90. Another opportunity for a test 50.
Different sort of shot, trying to, I don't know where he was aiming this deep mid-wicket, deep square leg maybe, against the spin.
It's one of those hit and hopes. It's worth mentioning again, you spoke about the likes of Fahim and Yasir Shah, they looked quality players. Yasir has been used as an opener in T20 cricket. First class hundreds to both of them.
Chip shot, is this the fifth? Nouman Ali debut test match, he has 5.
And well deserved. It's been a very good one, but we'll just have to hang on for a while. It's been called for.
The on-field decision is out. It's a fair delivery. Let's start with front on spin again, please. It's nice and slow. Ball is close to the bat. Need to confirm through ultras, please. Okay. Waiting for the ultras, guys. It's coming up. Just keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. Flat line, flat line. Just roll it through to the pad, please. Satisfied, no bat involved. Go for ball breaking when ready, please. Okay, waiting for the ball tricking, guys. Coming up. Original decision out. Pitch outside off. Impacting line. Wicket sitting. Go back to on-field umpire. Hassan, stay with your original decision. You're on screen. Please signal. Thank you.
Moment to say that Nouman Ali becomes the 12th Pakistani bowler to take 5 wickets on test match debut. What a match he's had. He's waited a long time for this. He wouldn't have thought that he'd be getting his first 5-for in his debut game. 5 for 35 and he's all smiles. And why won't you be? It's been brilliant performance from the left arm of Bavuma with the sweep shot, defeated with the ball, coming back into the pads.
It had to be getting a bit of bat if he was to be given not out. It's a shot he played well all morning. The shot was on this occasion. It kept low, straight in front. And South Africa now have 88 to defend.
The long journey of first-class cricket, and eventually gets his test cap and he's made it count straight away. 7 wickets in the game. More importantly, he gets 5 wickets in this second innings. It's been all about spin by this man and being rewarded for hard work throughout. It's 245 all out. South Africa partnership, Markram and Van der Dussen gave them hope. 74 from Markram, 40 from Bavuma, but not quite enough, I suspect.
Now South Africa will have to think about how they can bolster that middle order. Too often it's collapsing. Been through Nouman Ali and his success here, and Yasir Shah was also pretty brilliant. So never really happened for South Africa this morning. One expected more resistance, but it was not to be the case with some brilliant bowling here from Pakistan. So that leaves them 88 to win. The match a summary.
At 2:45 second innings, 88 now. Pakistan will require to chase down to go 1-0 up in the series. We'll just take a short break and be right back.
sorry, he was caught at leg slip.